believe that they deserve the rights that they are granted to by the government. A prime example of this is the right to do what you want with your body as long as you don't hurt anybody else. This is considered a basic human right and is provided in the Constitution. One example of where you should be able to do whatever you want with your body is prostitution. The government always has had too much power over our health. It can draft us and make us go into camps like the Japanese in World War II. It certainly should not say whether or not we have the right to pay for sex with consenting adult. For women, it is all they can do in order to break themselves of being poverty-stricken sometimes. So who are we to deprive them the right to do whatever they want with their bodies? It could be the only thing that keeps them from feeding their family from a dumpster. Nevertheless, the government does not care about that at all. All it cares about is to regulate something it sees as supposedly bad, that is, for paying for sex. One of the benefits of legalization of prostitutes would be that the government would actually be able to regulate it. This would make it a more supervised practice, so it wouldn't spread AIDS or herpes or any other types of diseases. The prostitutes could be tested just like they are tested in places where it is legal, such as Las Vegas. The cold hard fact that by putting a restriction on solicitation of sex, the government essentially is putting a restriction on one's personal freedoms, a state of being which many Americans accept. Not only that the United States is known for and based upon this idea of individual freedoms for each citizen, yet in some forms it ceased to exist. Not to say that a person should go out and put their life on the line with some government official because he or she does not have the right to pay for sex, just saying that it is an unjust law that should some way be brought down and changed. The way of doing so could be through protesting and reaching the people through, so it is beneficial. So it has beneficial aspects as well as voting towards legalization of a law or ordinance up for vote. Even one city, even Corvallis, should start this, and it wouldn't be a bad place. There are a lot of frat guys around here who would love to spend an extra buck for sex. The U.S. News and World Report has shown the facts of prostitution. This global activity, according to magazine 17% of men have partaken in this by hiring a prostitute, and the numbers are growing. Another fact from this article is that 40% of Americans think that prostitution should be legalized to reduce the spread of AIDS. To even further the proof of this thought, not a single case of AIDS turned up in 1991 survey of 7,000 tests on 246 legal prostitutes in Nevada from 1982 to 1989. By contrast, of 700 illegal prostitutes arrested in 1990 for soliciting in Nevada, 10% tested positive for HIV. This shows solid evidence that the monitoring of prostitution, rather than making it illegal altogether, is a good way to keep the industry from STDs. Being a whore is something a person never wants to grow up or become. The slang of this term, of this occupation, when said, are usually said towards some in an offense manner, even with the idea that women are still entering the business daily. Prostitution could help them do so even more. When asked why women sometimes should turn to prostitute, Jessica Flemmer says they do it for the money. This proves that there is an economic incentive that just women who want to be the head of Hewlett Packard. Who are we to make judgments about people's chosen profession? Besides, according to the study done by the U.S. Consumer Advocates for Sexual Freedom, the economic rewards of prostitution are currently greater than any of the other professions available to women. Besides, this is the fact women, if they are really good at prostituting, could make basically as much money as they wanted to make. There is no glass ceiling there. Finally, we can say and see that both men and women getting into the profession, they would know and understand what they're getting into. They know that they are selling their bodies for sex. Being from supporting a family to the freedom of choice, prostitution has its reasons why it should be legal, and the U.S. government should not be able to stop it. Sadly, though this profession is and probably will always be considered wrong, but for some, it is all they have to give for a ray of hope. Yeah.
Did you have a video or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
In December 2014, Northern Ireland passed a bill making it the latest country to penalize those who buy sex instead of those who sell it. This kind of legislation against prostitution was first introduced in 1999 in Sweden to great success. Many countries have since followed their example. So what are the prostitution laws like around the world, and should prostitution be legal? Well, first of all, prostitution, simply put, is sex for money. This comes under the umbrella term of sex work. However, it is legally distinct from other industries like pornography. Prostitution is generally correlated with higher rates of crime and poverty, and that's part of the reason many countries want to get rid of the practice. However, many governments have turned to legalizing prostitution as a form of harm reduction to give vulnerable sex workers more protections. Most South American countries allow prostitution, including Brazil and Argentina, and many European countries have legalized aspects of prostitution too, including Germany, the United Kingdom, France, and Spain. Notably, Australia and India have also decriminalized forms of prostitution. Some of the most famous red light districts are in the Netherlands, Thailand, Germany, Japan, and France. And while not all of these countries officially consider prostitution legal, major cities often have more liberal attitudes towards sex work. Legalizing prostitution and adding government regulation has shown to benefit sex workers and society at large. In the Australian Capital Territory, a 1992 law decriminalized prostitution and set up a government registry for sex workers and brothels. This helped confine the sex industry to specific areas, cut down on crime, and promote testing for sexually transmitted diseases. In 2003, New Zealand also took measures to legally regulate prostitution. The Prostitution Reform Act sought specifically to safeguard the rights of sex workers, promote public health, and reduce child prostitution. A 2008 committee charged with evaluating the Reform Act's effectiveness concluded that there had been a generally positive effect from decriminalization and increased government oversight. Sweden has also famously reformed prostitution laws with success towards achieving gender equality. Their laws, which only punish the buyer of sex with fines and jail time, view prostitution as a form of serious violence against women. 15 years have passed since the initial introduction of this law, and Sweden has seen prostitution rates cut in half. Swedish prostitutes also get paid more than anywhere else in Europe, contributing to a better quality of life for prostitutes. Presently, the Swedish model has inspired several other countries, including Norway, Iceland, and most recently Northern Ireland, to pass similar laws. And although prostitution industries vary widely across the world, legalization and decriminalization of prostitution has many benefits and should merit serious consideration from other world governments. The city of Rome has a prostitution problem, but the way they are attempting to address the issue is pretty strange. Check out this video from Seeker to learn more.
So Rome is trying a new solution. The mayor has just approved a new plan to corral
Interesting.